everybody. Welcome to episode 41 of the SMB Talks. As you saw, I'm just trying new things. I'm new to this. I'm learning it while I'm going with it. So, episode 41 today. How exciting is that? Exactly 1 year completed with the show. And this month, as you all know, we are celebrating the mental health awareness month. Last week, we had an excellent speaker talking about how we should all prioritize mental health during difficult times. And boy, are we in a difficult time right now. Yes, we are all, right? I am in. I know most of my friends are. It's tough times. We are all in this together. That has become a slogan. That has become part of our email signatures, WhatsApp chats, etc., etc. It's so good to see that each of us are supporting each other, right? It's fantastic. So today I have another excellent speaker. She is a friend of mine. A friend of friend, actually. So today I have Shriya with me, Shriya RK. She holds a master's degree in clinical psychology and has been working in the field for almost 3 years now. She first worked with Grow to Fly as a junior remedial educator and then as a school counselor under Jidnyasa Assessment and Counseling Center at Paranjape School. Currently, she is associated with Albot Pvt.Ltd as a consultant psychologist. She is also associated with the organization Dear Mind as counselor and has her own private practice of psychological counseling, where she has been handling clients from age 16 to 38 with issues related to emotional disturbance, marital relationship problems, psychological well-being, etc. She is also co-founder of Unico, a medical health platform. She is also associated with Saket Media Group, where she writes blog for the mental health initiative. We are in this together. So we are going to talk a lot about what kind of practices we should follow to take care of our mental health during and post COVID-19. So without further ado, let me bring her on. Hey Shriya, how are you?
Hi Vivek. I'm great. How are you? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes. First of all, congratulations on completing 1 year to this program.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for taking time out and coming on the show today. I'm really grateful to you. All right. So Shriya, the format of the show is, where I bring experts like you. And I curate a set of questions for you related to your subject. So it's mental health today. So I want to just talk about some best practices which everybody should know, and everybody should follow during tough times like this. So if you're ready, we can start off.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So, first thing I want to ask is, we are all going through a lot of uncertainties and processing a lot of trauma right now. So what are some of the best ways to cope up with all these kind of things happening?
Right. So first, I think let's talk about the uncertainties that are going on around us. So many uncertainties. Not just adults are facing it, but kids are also facing a lot of uncertainties. So what is happening is we are facing a lot of stress and anxiety. Mostly anxiety about what will happen in the future, or whatever is happening around us is so terrible that how will I cope with it? So first thing that we need to understand is where this stems from. This stems especially from thinking about the future, that what will happen if this goes on, or what if I find myself in that situation. So anxiety sometimes 90% of the time stems from something that we are not facing right now, but what we are thinking about. Right.
Absolutely.
So the first and foremost, what we need to do is we need to bring our mind and our thoughts to the present moment. Now, how to do it? Simple way, just take a paper and a pen and write down whatever your thoughts are. For example, if you're being really anxious that there are no beds outside, or there is no oxygen, there's so much of the medical system is crashing and everything. So write it down, that yes, I'm feeling worried about this thing. Now ask yourself that, is there anything that I can do about this? So maybe your mind might say that, maybe you could donate something, or, if you can't, then you can just take care of yourself by not stepping out of the house. Instead of that, there's absolutely nothing that you can do.
Right.
What we are doing here is we are taking a moment to write what is within our control and what is outside our control. Most of the times
Right.
we are worried about the things that are absolutely out of our control, and that makes us more anxious. So
Right.
knowing what is within our control and what is outside our control is very important. Now it might seem that it's so simple just to write, but is it really going to help us? So let's talk about our mind for a moment. Our
Right.
mind is such a thing that whatever you tell it, it's going to accept it, no matter what the reality is. So if you're going to tell
Right.
yourself, that is your mind, that it's so terrible outside, it's the situation is so grim, and how am I going to survive? Even if you're
Right.
safe at your place where there's no COVID positive patient around you, still you will feel that anxiety because you're telling it to yourself. So our
Absolutely.
mind is going to process it, catch it, and process it without knowing the reality. So now, if you tell your mind that something is absolutely out of my control, going to take mind some time to process it, because still now you're telling it how difficult it is, and suddenly you're coming and telling that
Right.
okay, everything is fine. So tell yourself all these things
Right.
when you find yourself in that situation, that okay, this is completely out of my situation and I really cannot do anything about it. So this is what we call mind
Right.
training, telling yourself something so that your mind captures it. So this is something that we
Right.
can do about the uncertainty. Now coming
Right.
to the trauma point of it, trauma is
Right.
something very huge. It is something that it comes from something that we've experienced personally. It could be
Right.
death of somebody in the family, or losing the job, or seeing some horrific situation that is going around. So this is
Right.
something that holds a lot of gravity, and it needs professional help. So if there is anybody who finds themselves in such situation, then I would suggest that visiting a mental health professional would be the best choice.
Right, right, got it. Yeah, so don't mind me. I was smiling at some of your points because I
Yes.
have this huge problem of anxiety. For last 1 day or so, I'm having this sore throat, and then my mind is keep telling me that okay, COVID is gonna come, COVID is gonna come.
Right.
So I was
Right.
I was
Right.
laughing at myself. All right.
Right. Right.
Uh, so my second question is this about this lockdowns and things like that. So COVID-19, it has forced most of us into social isolation, loneliness for many of us. So how can individuals
True.
cope up with this loneliness and isolation?
I think this is the most distressing part about the pandemic and the lockdown of being inside your house with your family members, or being alone, which we were not used to at all. I don't think anybody
Right,
was used to all these things, but it has happened now. So
right,
what to
right,
do in such situation? Isolation is completely natural, because you were going out, you were having your routine, you were talking to people, you were discussing a lot of things, and then suddenly you're just inside your house, working from home, working in the house, and everything is stopped. The connectivity from the world has stopped. The only connectivity we have in the outside world is because of the news or the social media. So
right,
in this situation, it is really important to actually stay connected with the people we want to stay connected with. Now, how
okay,
is that possible? Of course, we have WhatsApp, we have Zoom calls, or duo calls. So
right,
I would say that take that step forward to stay connected with the people that you want to stay connected with, instead of waiting for someone else to take that step. Now, it might not be necessary that you talk to each and every friend of yours once a day. Like one day I'll call this friend, so tomorrow I'll call the other friend. No, but
right,
sometimes you do find yourself in that situation that, okay, I just really need to talk to someone. So don't hold yourself back. So go and
right,
talk to that person. Try to
right,
stay
right,
connected as much as possible. And this is the most important thing part, because that is what we have to avoid doing. Second most important
right,
thing for feeling loneliness is because somewhere we have lost the connection with ourselves also. Because it might be because of the situation around, or maybe since a long time, because students are sitting at home, attending online lectures. There's so much of uncertainty because of the exams, or so many people have been laid off, so there might be self doubt and
right,
there's no connection with ourselves. So to regain that connection, to reconnect with ourselves, the me time, the self time that we call, is also really important. It is not necessary that
Right.
you take 2-3 days off and then you just sit with yourself. Just 1 hour every day with yourself can really bring you out of that situation. So
Right.
do something that you've been dreaming to do since a long time, but you did not get time because of your other works. So one
Right.
hour out of the 24 hours, I think, is really, it is doable. So give that much time to yourself also, because connecting with yourself is also important to get out of that isolation. So I
Right.
think
Got
these
it.
two things are important. And one more thing that I would like to add is, yes, we are cut off from the outside world, but
Right.
if you want to stay connected, if you want to feel appreciative again, then try to be helping hands. Try to volunteer as much as possible, or try to help your family members at your home doing household chores. That also brings a form of connection. So
Right.
something do something that will really connect you with others and also with yourself.
Got it. Got it. That's absolutely doable things and very good advice there. All right. So you just mentioned a little bit about social media and the digital world, right? So I know for a fact that it keeps adding a lot of stress in our lives with the negative news, fake news, etc., etc. So what are your top advice to manage the negativity from these kind of platforms?
Yes. So social media, pre-COVID, was a form to escape the reality.
Right.
Instagram,
Right.
Facebook, Twitter. You just go there and you just find other people's life, and it was
Right.
fun. Like, just a moment of escaping all the routine tasks that you were doing. But now it has become a platform where you actually get to know everything that is happening, and that is very distressing. Is what we
Right.
can call.
Right.
So, limiting your time on social media is something that you could do. Now, what happens is, a lot of my clients also say that that becomes a little difficult because we're so used to having our phones with us. And,
Right.
immediately when we have a break, we just turn to our phone and then we just tap away, and there's
Right.
Instagram or there's Facebook or anything else. So,
Right.
replace it with something. Replace
Okay.
it with maybe listening to music whenever you have that urge of having that phone in your hand. Maybe just go and listen to music 5 minutes, then get back to your work. Replace it with some
Right.
other game, not PUBG kind of games, of course, but something that will soothe your mind, right?
Right.
So replace it with something, or just whenever you have that urge of having your phone in your hand, just keep your laptop, your phones in one room and just go for a walk. It might be from your bedroom to your living room. So try to
Right.
replace these habits. And if you're too
Right.
courageous, then you could also try detox, deleting everything from your
Right.
phone. But don't
Right.
do it just right away. Like, just, okay, today I've got to know about detox, so I'm just going to uninstall everything. That might be a
Right.
little difficult. So do it step by step. Maybe limit yourself. That I won't check my social media while I'm
Right.
working, or while I'm having my food, and then slowly
Right.
slowly you can start doing it. But now you spoke about the negativity of social media. I want to talk
Right.
something other than that what I have observed in people is that during these times they were feeling guilty about watching some good or funny content on social media. That what is
Right.
happening in the world, and what am I doing? Am I really watching this? Does that make me a bad person? There was a lot of
Right.
guilt related to this also. So I would really like to
Right.
say that, please don't limit yourself to know everything. Like, you don't have to know each and everything that is going outside in the world. There
Right.
are a lot of influencers who are putting pressure on the youngsters. I feel that you should be knowing this because you're going to elect a lot of people who are going to run our country. So you should be knowing everything that is going outside in the world. Yes, it is important to know, but if it is taking a toll on your mental health, then it is not important to know each and everything that is going on outside. So it is
Right.
okay if you're watching memes, or if you're watching comments on Instagram, or on any social media. Do not feel guilty about it, because that is your moment to feel relieved, to distract yourself from whatever is happening. So don't take that guilt of overusing social media as well. As long as you use it wisely, it is all right. So don't think of it as a complete curse. You can have positive effects from that as
Right.
well.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, I have tried digital detox, but maximum I could
And
go was 14 days. After that, I had to reinstall all the
that is
apps.
that is
Right.
that is also a long time though. 14 days is a great time. You did great. Congratulations. That's very great.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. So moving on from social media, what are the mental health is something which we all take for granted. We don't talk about it much. We don't share about mental health with our friends. Even we talk about everything else in the world, but not about mental health. So, what are some of the best practices you recommend to everyone to stay on top of their mental health nowadays?
Okay. So first and foremost, it is very important to know that our mind and body is connected.
Right,
They both complement each other. If you are
right,
having any physical difficulties, say for example you're feverish and you're not feeling well, then automatically you'll reach a mental saturation. You won't feel like doing anything. On the other hand, if you're feeling stressed out, or if you're anxious, then you might have some physical symptoms of it, like stomach ache, headache, burning
right,
sensation in your chest or something. So there's a
right,
connection between your mind and your body. So to
right,
maintain this connection, it is really important to keep your mental well-being in check. It is also important to keep your physical well-being in check as well. So some form of physical activity, it is
right,
really important that you move your body continuously sometime. Then it might be exercising, it might be yoga, it might be something as simple as just breathing techniques.
right,
But some physical activity throughout the day to keep your physical and mental health in check. It is really important,
right,
because what happens is when you do some physical activity, there are certain hormones and certain neurotransmitters, so not hormones, sorry, certain neurotransmitters and chemicals which are released in your body, which help
right,
us feel good. So certain amount of exercise is something that everybody can try, definitely. Just even 15 to 30 minutes of exercise that I've told you could also
right,
be great. Then, most
right,
important thing, avoid reading newspaper, watching any sort of news, or using any social media at least an hour after you've woken up. Do
right,
not start your day with that. Yes, I know you want to stay informed, and world is not all negative. There's something positive as well. But I
right,
think that 1 hour you can give it to yourself. So maybe don't start it with that, because even though we are not thinking about something consciously, when we read or hear something, our mind still takes it and processes it. So unconsciously, a lot of things are going on inside, and then that
right,
impacts us. So that 1 hour before, after you've woken up, just try avoiding all these things. Then
right,
again, most important thing is what you watch, not news, but maybe Netflix, Amazon, Hotstar, whatever series you're watching, especially what you're binge watching. That is
right,
important. It is okay if you watch
right,
one episode of something every day, but if you're binge watching something, then what content it is? Is it filled with violence? Is it filled with something unpleasant? Then you need to check it, because like I said, even if it is not consciously getting it, somewhere it is getting inside your mind, and then it affects you.
absolutely,
Last thing, something that is my favorite is practicing gratitude. Gratitude has been scientifically researched, and it has been said that being grateful has a lot of positive impact on your physical health as well as mental health. So there's ample of information on gratitude available online. One a small exercise that I would like to suggest here is, after you wake up, just write down 10 things that you're grateful for last day, the previous day.
right,
Okay.
right,
Start your sentence with I'm thankful for. Absolutely anything. Small list of small things could also be possible. If you say that, I really don't have anything to be grateful for, what do I have? Look what is happening outside. But if you're watching
right,
this live stream right now, that means you have some device on which you're watching. Be grateful for that. You
right,
have internet connection. Be grateful for that. Forget that also. You woke up today, you had your food, you have a roof over your head. That is also important. So be grateful for that. Be grateful for your health. Practicing gratitude is something that will keep your mental health in check. So this is a small
right.
exercise that I'm asking you to do. So 10 things every day to be grateful of. And you'll see slowly how it affects you in a positive way.
Absolutely, because I have read a lot about gratitude, but journaling about it's not as easy as it's said. Write
Yes,
about 10 things. That
yes,
sometimes to make it a habit, it's a really really tough task. So,
right.
but it's a very good practice. Absolutely, thank you so
Uh,
much for sharing. Yeah,
Yes,
please.
what you can do if anybody is really interested, or even if you're interested, there's a beautiful book called The Magic by Rhonda Byrne, and she has given us beautiful 28 days practice that you can do one practice every day to inculcate that gratitude practice in you. So it's
Right,
really beautiful, and it just take 10 to 15 minutes every day to start. That was my start to practicing gratitude. So if you're
right.
really interested, or if anybody is interested, you could just check out that book and just try it and see if
The
it helps you.
the magic is it? The
The
magic.
magic, the magic. Yes, that's right. The magic.
All right, all right. I'll check it out over the weekend. All
Yes.
right. So, moving on from the best practices, to about some of the negative things. Like, for example, fear, worry, and stress. These are unavoidable in our life these days, right? We are all afraid of COVID, obviously. Most of us, some of us are afraid of losing job or our loved ones, etc. There's a lot of worry, and it creates a lot of stress in our lives. So, what are your top advice, to keep these at a non-destructible level?
Right. Fear, worry is are one of the emotions that every human being faces once, at least once in their life. Now, probably we are facing it a lot, but if you
Right,
recall, in previous times also, there was always some kind of worry, or there might have been some kind of fear or stress. Just like happiness, or experiencing love, these are pleasant ones which we want, but along with
right,
that we also have some unpleasant emotions, and worry and fear are some of it. So like you said, it is unavoidable. You cannot avoid
right.
all these emotions because everybody has to face it. uh,
Absolutely.
but the most important thing is to not run away from it. uh, would you run away from happiness, or would you not show that you're happy? Even if you try hard to not show it, your face would show it. You'll have little bit of smile, and you might show that yes, I am happy. So why not show your
Absolutely.
worry and fear as well? First
All
thing
right.
to change anything is to accept the situation. So if you're worried
Okay.
about something, sit with yourself and be okay with it. That okay, yes, I am worried about it, and I need to do something about it. If you're okay with that peace, you be calm to handle the situation. The first thing is to sit down
Right.
with yourself and tell yourself that yes, I'm worried no matter what the situation is. Don't tell yourself that it's so silly, why should I be worried about it? But that's okay. If that thought has come to your mind, then that is
Right.
fine. It is okay.
Right.
And then second thing, when you're at calm, and then you might be able to handle the situation, then confront your worries. Like I told you before, 90% of our problems stem from what if this happens. They don't stem from okay, this is happening right now, but we either think about the future or we think about the past. So
Right.
confront your worries. Are they really rational? Like I said, can I do anything about it? If I can do, then for sure, go for it. If you've had any quarrel with your friend, what can I do in this situation? And I'm worried about it that I might lose this friendship. What can you do?
Right.
You can just ask your friend that, or try to solve it. Instead of waiting, oh, but that person did not do this, so why should I do it? And, increasing that worry or that fear.
Right.
So do something that is in your hands, in your control. And it's okay if you waste one day because you're not feeling good because of these worries. You don't have to be productive every day. I've seen a lot of people who take all that mental fatigue with them, carry it throughout, and then put it in their work. It is
Right.
okay to, if you are not being productive because of this worry that you're having. So tell yourself that it's okay, and I'll see what to do about it. And of course, if it becomes excessive, then please visit a mental health professional. I think this is going to come again and again, that seek help,
Right.
because if something becomes excessive, then that is the step that you need to take.
Absolutely. So there's nothing wrong in seeking help when it comes to
Of
mental
course.
health, at least. That's much needed. All right, another important thing which I wanted to discuss with you was sleep deprivation. Right, a lot of us are having sleepless nights. People are replying to emails at 3 o'clock in the morning, replying to WhatsApps at 2 a.m. in the morning, etc., etc. So studies. When I was doing my research, I could see that one in five adults suffer from sleep deprivation, which leads to mental fatigue. So how to manage sleep deprivation in a natural fashion? How can we do that?
Right. Right. So, like you said, people are awake till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I think that
Right.
is where the issue lies. Change in the routine.
Right.
Whoever were working, now they're working from home. So, and I think the hours have also increased since they're working from home.
Right. Right.
So maybe they're getting time only at night to, maybe watch something or being with themselves, or, to stay connected with somebody else. But maintaining a
Right.
routine is really important, really, really important. So sleeping on time, and following this throughout, not on weekends, of course,
Right.
because that is something that you need for yourself, but following and maintaining a routine is really important. Second thing,
Right.
like I said, what you watch, that also affects
Right.
our mind very much. What you watch it just affects you in a very bad way if it is something unpleasant, and then that thought keeps
Right.
on going in your mind, right?
Right.
Another important thing is something, like you say, like I said, anxiety. Some unnecessary thoughts keep coming to our mind, which have no connection to what is happening right now. Maybe 15 years back, whatever has happened, we might think of it, or something that is not relevant to now is coming to our mind, and we are like, okay, I'm not able to sleep, or nothing is happening. Why is this happening?
Right. Right.
So I would like to tell a technique here that we call free writing. Now what
Okay.
happens is, again, let's go to our mind and understand thoughts over here. So thoughts are something that just keep coming to us. Even if you're talking right now, you might be having some thoughts, behind back of your mind, like, okay, I need to ask this question, I need to ask this question, or whatever
Right.
she's saying is making sense, or something of that sort. So we
Absolutely.
always have these thoughts. So I call this thought train. Okay, so this train keeps on going to one station to another, unloading and taking passengers. Continuously
Right.
it is going on. Okay. So it
Right.
is important that these thoughts have a channel to leave your mind, like, leave that compartment. So how
Right.
do we give that a channel? By writing. Now, when I say writing, people are already bored that, no, she's going to tell us to journal, and it's really boring. That how do we write? But this is something other. This is a new form of writing that we call free writing. What you do
Right.
is you only let your mind and your hand do the work. Shut off that analytical part of your brain that says, don't write this or don't write that. Whatever comes to your mind, you're writing it on the paper. Don't worry about the grammar, don't worry about the language, don't worry about the sentence formation. Whatever is coming in your mind, just write it down. If it becomes very
Right.
difficult, shut your eyes and write things down. Keep writing until and unless your mind is like, okay, now I have nothing to say. And it happens. It's not like, it will not happen. Your mind will be like, okay, fine. Ho gaya ab ye sab. And I don't read that again. Just throw that paper. What we are doing is we are giving our thoughts a channel, because disturbing thoughts are again very important and one of the main reasons for sleep deprivation, uh,
Right.
along with the routine. And along with this, what you can do is, now again, technology. Instead of cursing it, let's use it. So beautiful sleep meditation tracks we have. You have YouTube. So you have 8 hours, 6 hours, or 1 hour tracks. Very natural. You just put it on, and you go with it. Now it might be difficult for some people to immediately inculcate it, or to get used to it, but try doing it. Until and unless you don't do it for specific amount of days, you're not going to get used to it. So try sleep meditation tracks, try free writing. Please try to maintain the routine. That is very important. Try to do it. And if your phone is giving you a hard time to maintain that routine, keep it outside your room. I don't do that. Of course, saying all these things is very easy, but doing it is very, you feel it's unimaginable. But if it is becoming really tough for you, then you really need to take some steps. And again, if it is becoming too much, please visit a mental health professional, because sometimes what happens is we do try all these remedies, but the root problem is something else and we are treating something else on our own. So
Right.
if it is, if the root problem is something else, then you need to visit a mental health professional and then see what is going on.
Got it. Got it. So you mentioned that that's free writing, or it's called free writing, right?
Free writing, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna try that tomorrow morning. For sure.
Sure. Yes.
All right. So, next thing which I want to talk to you about was, the kind of work you guys do, you, Sharmishta and all. You guys are in middle of the people, offering them help, etc. So, mental and psychosocial support is much needed for helping individuals now. So, what are your thoughts on our current system in place in the country? Is it well equipped, or is it lacking? What are your thoughts on that?
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Right.
Since 1 year, since we have had the first positive case of COVID-19, how many times have you heard reporters or any government officials say that, we are providing mental health support to the patients or the families of the patient?
I have not heard. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think the answer lies in that we are not really equipped with good mental health infrastructure here in this country.
Right.
Because, even during these times, I think mental health professionals were not considered as frontline workers, which was really heartbreaking, because we were listening to people go through such tough times and, facing such situations, and, as professionals, we were listening to it, we're trying to understand it, and when people were trying to unload it, it was becoming very difficult. But
Right.
still, we are not considered as frontline workers, because we are not physically present there. What we're doing is just giving our mind and our mental health to that.
Right.
So yes, the infrastructure is not very well equipped. Second thing, now why it might be, because, less awareness.
Right.
That, many a times people say that no, mental health वगैरह कुछ नहीं रहता, it's just a fad that youngsters are putting up, and it's just nothing.
Right.
हमारे टाइम पे तो नहीं था, अभी कैसे develop, अभी कैसे anxiety हो गया.
Right. Right.
आपके टाइम पे भी था, बट आपको सिम्टम्स नहीं समझ में आया, क्योंकि आपको किसी ने एजुकेट नहीं किया. इट्स नॉट देयर फॉल्ट. Nobody
Right.
tried to tell people that, this is something really grave and you need to go out and seek help. So
Right.
again, awareness is not properly done. Second most
Right.
heartbreaking thing for this is malpractices of the professionals. I see
Okay.
so many people out there who are calling themselves clinical psychologists with inappropriate degrees, or not having the license with them, or just doing one course of some therapy and then getting into the counseling way.
Okay.
There was this one Insta post that I came across where it was written that I am not, I don't have a mental health degree or psychology degree, but I have read a lot of books because I was, interested in it. I have a lot of knowledge, so you can come and you can, talk to me as a counselor. But if degree matters to you, then, please don't come to me. To
Right.
that, somebody had written that, what if I tell you that, I am not a doctor, an MD, but I am very interested in heart surgery. So I have read a lot of books about it, and I have ample of knowledge about it. So you can come and talk to me. Would you go to that
Right.
doctor? I mean, you
No
would,
ways.
right? So how do you
Right.
call yourself professional degree, or you have that license and experience to handle such cases? Because equal to doctors are said that, patients give their life in hands of the doctor. What are our clients doing? They're doing the same. Mental well-being, like I said, mind and body is connected. And if such malpractices goes on, then of course people are not going to trust us. One bad experience, and people are reluctant to go out and seek help. On top of it, if such
Right.
professionals do something, then it is not going to be good. But what I have
Absolutely.
also observed is a lot of people, like if you see the situation in our country, if you would have seen it 5 years ago and now, then yes, there's a lot of change happening. A lot of youth is, getting into mental awareness, and they're actually taking a step to even seek help. They're educating the other people as well. No, they're educating the parents, they're educating the grandparents. No, you're
Right.
having this, so just come and seek
Right.
help. Don't be hesitant about it. So yes, definitely there are a lot of initiatives that are carrying on. I am doing my part of creating awareness. Dear Mind is doing their part, but it is really small. We need to create awareness on a bigger platform, and we are trying it. Every mental health professional is trying it along with us. If not, non psychology background people could also do it, then we could reach a point where we would have a great mental health infrastructure, because it is needed. So awareness is something that is needed, and yes, we are there, we are reaching there. It's just that the process is a little slow, but it
Right.
is going on. It's not stagnant, so I'm at least happy about it.
Right, right. At least the future is optimistic, and
Yes,
I'm pretty
yes.
sure people like you, Sharmishta, and all are the real examples of how people. I think I'm pretty sure that people will start paying attention to their mental health, like their physical health, for sure. All right, fantastic. All right, so my next question, I was reading this somewhere, some experts about mental health, they were writing, this was an international journal, that this pandemic is going to have a long-term effect on our all of us, everybody's mental health. So what are your thoughts on that, and what are some of these solutions you might recommend to reduce the impact of this?
Yes, definitely this pandemic might have long-term and long-lasting impact on all of us, because the things that might change after the pandemic, the financial situations, or a lot of things that might happen in future. But that is something that, like I said, that is completely out of our control. So that
Absolutely.
is something that we can tackle in different ways. But right now, what we can do is take help in the first stage of our issues. What I mean by
Okay.
this is go and seek professional help when you need it right now. Don't wait for yourself to collapse completely and then go and talk to a professional.
Right.
Because if your issues are sorted right now, then that impact is not going to last for a longer time on you. Like we said, that impact might last for a longer time. If you seek
Right.
help right now, if you start working for yourself right now, it won't last. Now, how to do
Okay.
this? A lot of people ask me that, when do you think is the correct time to see a mental health professional, because we don't know if it is something physical, like if we are having fever or something, then we know okay, we need to go and go to a doctor to get some medicines. But how do we know about our mental health? Because mood swings hote rehte, we feel low, we feel high at times, not
Right.
every day is the same.
Right.
What I tell is, if a thought crosses your mind that do I need to go and see a mental health professional, that is your cue. That is your cue to go and make
All
that
right.
appointment. Now, why are
Right.
ask ourselves that, do I need to, again, conditioning that has been going on. Mental health, is it really necessary, or do I really need to go there? So what our
Right.
defenses are so high that instead of telling ourselves that, yes, we need help, we ask ourselves, do we really need help? But that is your
Right.
cue. Your mind and your body continuously keeps telling you. They give you some cue. So that is your cue that you go and seek professional help. Even if you don't
Right.
have any issues, and even if you're like, maybe these are just mood swings that I'm having, consider it as a routine checkup, like you do for your body. Like, you just go, and even if there's nothing wrong with your body, you just go and have it checked. So just make
Absolutely.
an appointment. If there's nothing, then you'll have 45-minute session with a person who's going to listen to you with most non-judgmental approach, be with you and try to understand you. So even
Right.
if there's nothing wrong, or if you feel that there's nothing grave happening with me, at least you'll have that session where you'll feel good about things. So yes,
Right.
instead of waiting for the last stage to occur, just go and start understanding yourself better, and start understanding, okay, something is happening and I really need to now take steps to prevent it, to avoid the
Right.
long term effects that we might have later on.
Right, got it. So keep on looking for these cues. Don't take them lightly, and go seek support as soon as possible. All right. So another thing which we have touched upon earlier, which was anxiety. So that is a topic which can have a session on itself, right? So it's very common these days. So how do you think how do you think people can cope up with anxiety exactly?
Okay. Coping up with anxiety, again, I'm going to tell you, understand the intensity, frequency, and duration of your anxious thoughts. If it is something
Right.
manageable, truly manageable, not like, I will do it kind of manageable, then it is fine. If it becomes too much, please make an appointment. So the COVID
Right.
anxiety, that how we can manage is stick to verified resources if you're going to watch the news. There are a lot of
Right.
pages who verify the information and then put things up as content. So look for
Right.
such pages and follow them instead of following every page that is working around the COVID situation. Stick to verified
Right.
resources. Okay.
Right.
Then second most important thing is focus only on the things that you can control. Just focus on that.
Right.
Yes, cases are rising, but what I can do, I can wear a mask and then go outside if only necessary. What I can do to
Right.
be safe. If I don't know about my job, what will happen, but that is just
Right.
something about in future. Right now, what I can do is I can work and give my 100%. So focus
Right.
only and only on the things that you can control. Again, train your mind to do that. It was not going to happen overnight.
Right.
Then
Right.
stay well connected with your friends, with your peers, only when required. Now, uh, like I said, staying connected every day might bore you. So, whenever you require to talk to someone, stay well connected. Then,
Right.
most important thing is be mindful about what you watch, what you talk, and what you listen. Three most important things. If it is becoming too much, just stop it. If your family is watching something and you cannot take it, you can just go and sit in your room. You can be polite to them and tell them like, no, I cannot take this and I really need a break, so I won't watch this. Or if somebody's trying to have a conversation with you regarding COVID, you can be polite to them also that, yes, I know it is difficult, but I don't think I'm in that mental capacity to hear about it. Even watch, if you're watching docu-series, there are documentaries are coming about, COVID was spreading and how it happened. Again, anxiety. What we are doing, we are piling up unnecessarily. We're piling up. So try to find out such ways where you can take care of yourself, and most importantly, take care of your body. Take care of your body. Your mental well-being is also going to be in touch.
Right.
Apart from
Right.
that, now this was about COVID situations. Now,
Right.
anxiety can also stem up because of self-doubt.
Right.
Say, for example, I have just started up, just started as a fresher, and it was my opportunity to go and prove something. But what am I doing? I'm sitting at home and working
Right.
from home. This is not what I wanted, or I'm not able to give my 100%. Please
Right.
know that in current situations, even if you're giving your 1%, that is enough. And you have to appreciate yourself for that. Have you ever hugged yourself, or have you ever stood in front of a mirror and said that you're doing good, even if nobody's saying that you are doing good? We don't say that because we're scared to face ourselves, because we don't
Right.
feel that we deserve it. You're
Right.
deserving of every appreciation. So even if you're uh, giving 1% of what you're supposed to do, just appreciate yourself and start loving yourself. That is the most important thing. uh,
Right.
Apart from this, supplementary techniques like grounding techniques or breathing techniques for anxiety can help, but that depends on what your intensity is. So what we do is we don't tell it normally, but when a person comes up, a client comes up, and if we feel that okay, this person might not need counseling sessions, but supplementary techniques might work with them, we provide that to them. So that could also be done. That if you're feeling that it is happening like once in a while, then what do I do to cope with it? Then you can use the supplementary techniques. So these
Right.
are few things that you can do to keep your
Yeah.
anxiety at.
I think those are very, very useful tips. I may use a couple of them myself, because
Wonderful.
these are very doable, and it works like a charm. I have heard about it,
Yeah.
but the way you mentioned it, it makes much more easier to practice. All right.
Yeah.
So before we get to understand about Shriya, one final question about mental health that's related to kids. This COVID has
Mm-hmm.
impacted kids also too much. They are also impacted. They are locked down in their house. They are not able to go down and cycle in the park with their friends, etc. So, what are some of the best practices you suggest to
Yes.
help kids during these times?
Yes, the most affected population during the lockdown. Their world has completely come to their house. They're completely locked down. And what to do? Because they're used to go to
Right,
school, have fun. And now what they're doing is attending school on their laptop, which is, they find it really boring.
right,
My 5-year-old cousin, she literally used to roll her eyes when we were like, okay, now your school is starting. And she's like, but what do? I just keep yawning when, I just sit in front of the laptop screen. I don't want to do this. First standard kid, what are you
right,
going to tell them? They cannot understand the gravity of the situation.
right,
But as
right,
parents, what you can do is, I think, along with adults, it is important, and I think it's most important that you follow your kids' routine even if they're at
right,
home. That does not mean that they can, like, okay, चलता है ना अभी क्या घर पे ही है तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है अगर even if the school is on and my kid is playing somewhere, I've turned on the video. Or waking up your child 5 minutes before the school and sitting, making them sit in front of the laptop, and then the child is like, what is happening? Then give me some time to process, how am I supposed to concentrate on all these things? So
right,
maintaining the routine that wake up at this time, and then do your morning routine, have your breakfast, then sit for your school, and then whatever they used to do in school, make a routine according to it, like their snacks time, their lunch time, their activity time. So try to maintain a
right,
sleep wake routine, their eating habits routine. Then second most important thing, like you said, they're not even able to go and play in the park or play with their
right,
friends. So try to find some activities that they can do at home. Again, physical activity is a must. It could be as easy as skipping or making them run from kitchen to the bedroom or bedroom to the living room. Just make it a
right,
competition that okay, let's just do this. So some kind of physical activity is needed along with some entertaining activities. Now, kids are like, if they do something once, they'll be like, now I'm not going to do it. I've already done this yesterday.
right,
Why are you giving me this again and again? So try to
right,
find out some great activities like mandala. If your kid is, in, in a higher standard, you can ask your child to create a mandala. If not, then, just color it or give them puzzles to solve. Best way. Even
right,
cognition capacity increases because of that. But most
right,
important thing is whatever you give, please make sure it is a hard copy. Please do not give them any gadgets to, access all these things, because kids are very smart. Very smart. They just try to manipulate you, and this time, especially during this COVID time, that manipulating like anything, that I have nothing to do now. Give me something and I'm going to play. So,
right, right,
ch- being parents of your kids is really, really important, and that is not happening somehow. Then
right,
another thing is, have a clear and a nice communication with your child. Uh, Before bedtime, try to ask them, what did they do? And instead of asking them, you can also tell, what did you do? How was your day?
right,
Try to have
right,
communication with your child, because if you're working parents, you are working throughout the day, and when you're almost done, your child might be sleeping or might be watching television. If you're not
right,
not a working parent, you might be busy with something else, and might not get time to connect with your child. So please
right,
have a communication with your child, that how are you, how are things with you. And this can be a daily routine also, that before going to bed, just come and talk to me, or do some, like, let's do something together. Another important thing is, let your child be bored. Let them get used to boredom. You do not have to serve them everything on a plate, that okay, you're bored, do this, okay, you're bored, do this. No, because being bored is also helpful at times. It makes you think, like, it makes the child think what they want to do. So let them be bored. If they are like, and I'm sure the parents must have heard this phrase, and I am bored, tell me what to do. 10 times a day. And that is
Right.
especially because they want something, like they want your phone or they want access to YouTube. I'm bored, I have nothing to do,
Right.
now give me your phone, I want to play. No,
Right.
oh, you're bored, okay, try to think what you can do. You have so many
Right.
materials with you, you have your crayons, you have all these things. Now you are going to try and do something for me. Do it.
Right.
So, don't spoon feed your child. I know this times are, very uncertain and very boring for kids also, but let that boredom also sink in. That is also really good for them. So these are
Correct.
few things to keep in mind.
Right, right, right. Very, very fantastic tips for parents there. I'm hoping that people who are listening will try to follow it. All right. So today's topic is over, but I try to get to know about my guest a little bit. So I have a couple of questions on your work, your background, etc., etc. So my first question is, I had Sharmishta on the show, and
Yeah.
she spoke about Dear Mind and the kind of work they do. I have so much respect for her and the kind of work you guys do. So, if you can tell us a little bit about the kind of work you guys are engaged in now during the pandemic, and what kind of work has been going on over the last 1 year.
Yes, Dear Mind has been doing great work, great work. So we started, Dear Mind has been online initiative platform since a very long time, I think since 2018. And I've been
Right,
associated with them since I think 2019, before the
right,
pandemic itself.
right,
And when this started, then they started off doing online consultation, online counseling service, free of cost for
right,
anybody who is facing issues. So I was really interested in it. So I was on board, and we were, I think, we were three counselors at that time, and we were handling the cases. And we had no clue that we'd be getting such great response. We didn't know people were in such dire need of going and talking to someone for having a counseling session. So we
right,
provided free counseling sessions to people, and
right,
then from there it just went on. The mental health awareness, it was already going on, but now people started knowing about it. There was a word
right,
spreading that there's this platform is doing something, we're providing online services. So that is what we've been doing right now as well. And now we are a team of, I think, 6 or 7 counselors. From three
wow,
to 6 or 7 counselors, we went to that in time span of 1 year. And still we have so many cases, so many people signing up for it, that we are at capacity. So that is
right,
what we've been doing. We are still providing free counseling session. The first session is completely free of cost. So anybody who's watching this, like I said, if you are understanding that cue that okay, something is happening, do feel free to visit our page on Instagram and sign up for your first consultation. Now, second interesting thing that Dear Mind is is launching is a course on peer counseling that anybody can do.
okay, right,
It would be most like first aid for emotional well-being, because even people who from non-psychology background are interested to know okay, but what if a person with mental health condition comes and talks to us, how do we handle it? Because I mean that is also important. If your family member
very,
is
very
going
important.
through something, then you need to understand what to do.
Right,
So we are starting peer counseling as well. It is under
okay,
construction, and we'll be making an announcement very soon. So
right.
that is all about. This is something basic about Dear Mind, and you would really get to know a lot from their website. So do check our website and our Instagram page if you want more information.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's a fantastic initiative. So, and you
Yeah,
guys are all so young and doing such a fabulous job. It's kind
yeah.
of mind blowing for a normal person like me.
Thank you.
Right. So other thing which caught my interest when I was reading about your profile and all that was you are a co-founder of Unico, a mental health platform. So if you can talk a little bit about Unico, that would be fantastic.
Yes. So Unico, like you said, is a mental health platform, and I had started it with one of my colleague, who's also a counselor, a psychologist.
Right.
So the idea for Unico was that we started it during last year's pandemic itself. What we
Right.
observed as psychologists was that a lot of mental health professionals were coming online and taking webinars about like how to manage anxiety, or a lot of things. And what we
Right.
thought was missing was that people are not coming up and telling their issues, what they expect from
Right.
mental health professionals. So why not
Right.
provide a platform where people will talk and we will listen? So
Right.
our first aim obviously is to create awareness of mental health. So we try to uh, post content which could be understood by non-psychology background people, because that is what we're targeting, right? We want people to
Right.
come up and seek help. So we are trying to provide some content from them, for them. And second most important thing is that we have events where we have people who come and talk about how things affected them. So we've had 66 7 events where there was a specific topic. Our first topic was dealing with uncertainties, so how people dealt with it. Our main
Right.
idea
Right.
was to provide a platform to people to come and talk about themselves instead of just listening to the professionals. And what happened because of that was because that the other people who were just there to listen to the speaker's story, they could relate to them, and they were like, yes, this happened with me too. Oh, he tried this, maybe I could try this. Or I'm not alone who's facing this. So
Right.
a lot of connectivity also happened. So this is, we are just at the beginning of it. We are at the primary level of this initiative, and we're going to try to take it to some next level. So this is the
Right.
basic thing that we're doing at Unico.
Very nice, very interesting concept, and I wish you all the best for taking it to
Thank
the very, very highest level possible. All right, and my final question today for you is, you're also associated with Sakal Media Group with their Wait Camp initiative. So, if you
you. Yes.
can talk a little bit about that, that would be great.
Sure. So Sakar Media Group, as you know, Sakar newspaper. So it is a media group of the same branch.
Right,
Wait is we are in this together. It is their
right,
mental health initiative. I was really happy to know that Sakar Group, such a group who's associated with media, is starting something related to mental health, and I was like, wow, that's
right,
really great. And I am associated with them as a blog writer. So I write
right,
blogs on related to mental health. Again, my contribution to provide awareness on mental health.
right.
So that is what I do, and they also have a beautiful platform where it is called Sakar Sobat Boluya, where a lot of experts come in and they're interviewed about cases related to mental health, various topics on mental health, and they are
Right.
also providing counseling services. So that
Okay.
is in short about what Sakar is doing. They're coming up with really great courses also, like music therapy and Posh. So they
Right.
are also trying to step up the game in mental health awareness and doing their work. And I am just a tiny part of it, trying to contribute my knowledge.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, it's fantastic. No part is tiny when it comes to mental health, I believe. And I wish you all the best with all these wonderful things you're doing. And
Thank you.
thank you so much for taking your time out and coming on the show. I'll speak to you soon.
Yes, yes. Thank you for inviting me, and all the
All right.
best for your show as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that was Shriya. Shriya spoke fantastic about the practices which we all can follow, and lot of topics we covered. It was such a pleasant 1 hour. I didn't know 1 hour passed through. There are so many topics we talk about: sleep deprivation, anxiety, lot of things, right? Stress, how to take care of mental health, and everything. So this is a humble effort from my side to bring some awareness on this topic, which needs to be spoken by all of us. Right? Mental health is such a difficult topic. It's still a taboo in most of the households in India. We all need to speak up and take care of ourselves. So next week I have a professor coming from all the way from United Kingdom talking about myths of mental health. So let's try to bust some myths about mental health. So I want all of you to stay safe, wear double mask, don't get out of your house. Take care and see you all next Friday. Thank you so much. Happy weekend.